You don't need to go to a graveyard to find this plant. Let's talk about Cryptanthus. What's up, fellow plant enthusiasts? My name is Dylan and this is Bane's Botanicals. Today we're going to be talking about Cryptanthus. Now this may be a plant that you've never heard of before. That's because it falls under the umbrella of a family of plants called bromeliads. And all of the bromeliads are in the family Bromeliaceae. So let's go ahead and do this real quick. Here is the taxonomy information for Cryptanthus. And we are in the family Bromeliaceae, the bromeliads. It's also known as the pineapple family because pineapples are in the bromeliad family. And often you will see some similarities in the shape of pineapple plants and other bromeliads that you might see in stores. Usually we just call them bromeliads because they are so similar, but there are many genera within Bromeliaceae, and this is one of them. Another one would be Tillandsia. Tillandsia is also a bromeliad. That's the air plant. But people who are into bromeliads can tell you lots of different species that make great houseplants. Me personally, I've never been too big of a fan of bromeliads. I just don't see the appeal in some of them. I think that some of them are prettier than others. This one is actually very interesting. You can see already that it is putting off pups, if you'd like to call them that. And it's just a very interesting looking plant. Do you guys like the fish pot too? Isn't that kind of silly? Wes is really into getting decorative pots right now. He's like, you need to not have so much terracotta, so here we go. But yeah, it's a really, I love the silver splash kind of on top of it. I love the wrinkled kind of leaves. Most not all bromeliads, but a lot of them you see will have serrated leaves. So that's just something to be aware of. You don't want to hurt yourself because some of them actually can be very sharp. This one's not too bad, but I can still feel it catching on my skin. And I don't know if you can see the detail of that up close, but these are serrated. It is interesting that this is called Cryptanthus because it almost does look like some sort of gnarled, kind of withered plant that you might find near a tombstone or something. But it's not exclusive to growing in graveyards or anything like that. So, but yeah, oh, I see another little pup coming up right there. But bromeliads are fairly easy to care for, and this particular one is exceptionally easy. It's kind of surprised me, and this was actually recommended to me by several of my followers, Christians coming to mind, and I'm pretty sure Mandy said something too, about how fun and easy Cryptanthus is, and I've been very pleased. I've hardly done anything to it. I mean, I put it in the pot, and I've been watering it just the same frequency as all my other houseplants, and it's been doing great. And it's interesting. I mean, the pot's interesting too, but like it's just an interesting addition to like any collection of houseplants. I mean, this doesn't look like anything else in my collection. So I don't know. I can change my mind on bromeliads. I mean, I could see us covering other bromeliad genera in the future. I don't think I'll have as much love for them as I do for this particular one, but yeah, even just touching it, I don't know if you can kind of hear that ASMR or whatever that is of me touching this plant, but it does have an interesting, almost artificial feel to it. And yeah, so let's kind of get into the care. I normally have a stand and I don't have it, so I'm just holding the plant just because the pot's cool. But these are, like I said, are very easy to care for. They like bright indirect light. They will start to grow a little bit leggy if you don't give them enough light, but even artificial lighting is perfectly fine. That's what I have this one under. Water, they just need to be watered regularly. They can dry out, and it's good to let them dry out, but they're not really that finicky with their water. They don't want to be sopping wet. Obviously, they don't want to stay that way, but you also don't want to just let it completely dry out like a cactus or something. Like it's good to keep giving it water. And this one is still fairly not wet, but it's got moisture in it. See, I got the black on my finger, so I know that it's still got some moisture in there. But when did I water last? 5 days ago. Well, anyway, it's doing fine. And the soil is just a regular houseplant soil. I didn't do anything special. Fertilizing, I think I fertilized it once or twice before I gave up fertilizing for the year. At the time of this video, it is November, so I stopped fertilizing about 3 weeks ago, probably. But yeah, when you do fertilize, just do it like bi-weekly during the growing season and then not at all during the dormant season, late fall, winter, early spring. Just give it a chance to rest, but they do benefit from fertilizer, obviously. One unique, well, hang on, did we cover everything? Humidity, they don't really need humidity. These are very succulent-like. You know, like you touch them, and I kind of love, look at that ridge. Like, look at the ridge on this leaf, how it's just like, it's very like wavy, almost like currents in the ocean. I don't know, that's so cool. But what were we talking about? Humidity. They don't really need that extra humidity. I mean, there may be species of bromeliad that do need it, like Tillandsia. You know, Tillandsia needs a decent amount of humidity, I think. But I think that's really it for the care. But one thing I was going to say that is kind of a unique aspect about these plants, about all bromeliads, is that when they flower, they usually get a really elaborate, showy flower right in the center. You've probably seen those in grocery stores or at like some big box stores. And after they flower, they slowly start to decline. And all hope is not lost, because as they decline, they put off pups. And with these pups, you can actually create new houseplants, new bromeliads, new Cryptanthus, whatever you'd like to do with them, and it just puts off new babies. So that's kind of cool. I believe you can grow the babies hydroponically. Miss Betty would know about that. One of my followers, she does a lot of hydroponics. But yeah, they should propagate quite easily. So even though you might lose the mother plant, you will have lots of juvenile plants to kind of continue on with. But some bromeliads take a really long time to flower, and even after they do flower, the decline isn't right away. There are some plants that after they flower, it is a noticeable decline. Like they don't really last much longer. You don't really see that in houseplants very much, but plants in nature, I can't think of one off the top of my head. It's just sort of like its whole purpose is to flower and then die. You see that with animals. You see that with like some animals where animals will reproduce and then they die. I mean, you see that a lot in insects, like cicadas. Cicadas come back every year, the annual ones. I mean, I know there's the other ones that come back every 13 or 17 years, but cicadas, they basically just spend 2 months of their lives above ground mating as much as they can, and then they lay eggs and they die, and that's it. So plants, it's not unusual that some plants would experience a similar life cycle. That might be all I have about Cryptanthus. I don't know the species off the top of my head, which is okay, but yeah, really cool. I don't know. I'm pleasantly surprised. This is one of those instances where I'm like, wow, this is cool. I've had other plants recommended to me in the past, and I've gotten them, and I'm like, I don't get it. Like, what's the big fuss about this plant? But this is cool. So if you find a Cryptanthus, pick one up. They're really easy to care for. You don't have to put it in a fish, but you can, do whatever you want with it. This would actually look good in like a black pot. Maybe like a Halloween themed pot that is like spider webs or something. I have some cups that are like that, but I don't think it would fit in that. It's already too big. Damn, that's okay. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what your experience is with Cryptanthus. If you have some other varieties or species, I'd love to hear it. And thank you so much for your likes and subscribes and for your comments and for sticking with me and everything. It means so much to me. Thank you. And until the next video, I will see you guys very soon. Thank you.